An estimated 30,000 educators were here at Queen's Park today in a massive rally. We haven't seen an education protest this large in this province in 23 years. And 23 years ago, I interviewed a teacher as he was heading off to a different protest against Mike Harris and Bill 160, which was completely overhauling the education system. And believe it or not, he was here at the protest today at Queen's Park, and I talked to him about his perspective on the labor unrest then and now. What bothers you the most about Bill 160?
It gives absolutely no control to a local school board with special needs for its local population, especially in our metro areas, to any longer make those decisions for themselves.
Skid Crease has been a teacher for 30 years, and he never really considered himself to be a strong union type of supporter until he read Bill 160. Now he's heading to the picket lines every morning. 23 years later, here we are again.
23 years ago, you and I met to discuss the Bill 160 protests and the Mike Harris government.
Give me your impression of what you were fighting for then versus what teachers are fighting for now.
We were trying to fight then. It was actually not a wage increase situation. It was the changes to the Education Act that we were fighting. Those changes, unfortunately, have led to the possibility of a government playing with teachers again the way they're doing today.
Class sizes, for example, because 23 years ago, you were fighting for the school boards to maintain control of class sizes. It went into the government's hands.
It went into the government's hands, and remaining now in the government's hands leads to these kinds of negotiations. So we lost the ground back in 20 years ago. We didn't win that fight, and the government's now in a situation where it sort of controls the strings it's pulling.
What is your concern about what the government is trying to propose?
It leads to continuing disruptions in the school system for parents, for teachers. There's no security in terms of long-range planning for classes, for class sizes, for course selections. And so students in the end and parents in the end are going to be extremely frustrated and shortchanged by this whole mess.
So you're a retired teacher now. Why did you come out here today?
My wife is still involved in teaching. She's a principal in New York Region. My colleagues are still teachers. And I believe in the education system of Ontario.
23 years ago, did you think you'd be back here again with this situation?
No. No, this is a déjà vu that was not welcome.
Once a teacher, always a teacher. Now, back then in 1997, those protests lasted for 2 weeks. No telling if we'll have another mass protest during this labor disruption. But we do know OSSTF is going to have another rotating strike a week today on Friday. And ETFO, the elementary teachers, are announcing a new escalation on Monday.